Recorded live.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for being with us today. It's Wednesday, June 5th on the Gregorian system, and known on the Mayan sacred calendar as 1.Transformation or death, 1.Kame, as it's said in the Mayan Quiche language. My name is Barbara Sadler, creator of the Mayan Cross website and producer for these Mayan Cross community telewebcasts. And we so appreciate your being with us through all of these calls that we're doing this year in 2013. We keep with the oral tradition here, and each one of our telewebcasts is focused on one of each of the 20 Mayan day signs. And this way we can gather to learn and experience more about the calendar, more about the components of the Mayan sacred calendar, the Mayan cross, and discuss it and hear about it from real live people rather than just reading about it. So it's a good way to augment our understanding at a very deep level about the components of the system. This is the sixth of what will eventually be 20 episodes held throughout this 260-day cycle of the Cholki calendar in 2013. So we meet like this every 13 days on the one day of each Trecena cycle. And what we do really is has elements of what actually happens in the Mayan ceremonial fires, which are lit each morning to bring in, to invoke the day's energy, the day's Nawal, the guardian of the day. So right now we have people from all over the world joining us, and we'll have dozens of people viewing and listening to the telewebcast later on. Jeff Grant from LA is online with us. He's our tech and one of our creative experts here. He's the one responsible for creating the YouTubes for each one of our episodes and then uploading them to the Mayan Cross YouTube channel. And feedback on these has been great. And I, again, want to thank Jeff so much for his expertise and his efforts to make these telewebcasts come even more alive for the world. So before I introduce our esteemed guest this morning, if you will, just take a moment, perhaps you already have, to quiet your mind and feel comfortable and grounded, lighting your candle or candles, and begin to connect with the moment and with the presence of the Nawal Kame. And it is so much an honor and a pleasure to introduce to you our speaker today, Shuni Giron. And she is a dear friend and a soul sister. We've known each other for over 3 years now. And when we are together, we are often together around the fire. And Shuni was born in Guatemala and yet has spent over half of her life, I think, in the U.S., in the Chicago area. She's a world traveler, a world citizen, and a multidimensional character. She's a healer, spiritual guide, ceremonial leader, a diviner, a daykeeper, a mother, and the wife of Tata Pedro Cruz from Lake Atitlan in Guatemala. She's a Popol Vuh scholar, storyteller, translator, actress, producer, and on top of all of that, so much fun to be with. So, Shuni, are you here?
Yes. Well, thank you, Barbara, for the introduction.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing really well. I'm very honored to be on this call and be able to share with you such an intense Nahual, which is my own, which is Uncame. It is also a pleasure for me to know you, Barbara, as we come together in this journey.
Yes, it's just serendipitous how everything comes together, and you meet some people, and you know that you've known them before, and that you're meant to do however you're guided to do in this lifetime. And that's clearly the sense I got from Shuni the first time I laid eyes on her. And we're so glad you're with us here today. We wanted to start this episode, this telewebcast today, with Shuni leading us in a prayer to create and congeal our energies together around our virtual sacred fire. So, Shuni, would you like to begin there, and then we'll go on with some more information about the energy today?
Sure. So what we're going to be doing, first of all, we're going to be calling the 4 directions, which are very meaningful for us as the Maya. And then we're going to be doing a sacred Mayan prayer from the sacred book of the Mayans, the Popol Vuh, that it is a genesis of the Maya Quiche people from Guatemala, an oral tradition that has been passed and still passed through generations and still alive today in Guatemala. This prayer is dedicated especially to our Creator and Former, and also to the ancestors that came before us, who are still the fundamentals of our lives and are still part of our sacred Mayan practices. So everybody, just let's take a deep breath. Close your eyes slightly and connect with your flame. It is through the sacred fire that we connect with our ancestors, and they connect with us. See your flame. Feel your flame. You're going to connect first with your inner source, your inner light. Breathe in, life. Release out, life. And here we're going to connect as we release. We're going to connect with the ancestors. Be present. Be loving. Be open. And welcome these forces fearless that Ahau is with us in this special moment, as they are our great ancestors and they are our great teachers. Breathe in life and out life. I call upon the energy of Balam Quiche or Paluna, Father of the East. I call upon you, Balam Quiche, to bright us our new projects, give us new insights, a new light, and a new day. I call upon you, Balam Quiche, to be with us now. I call upon the energy of the West, Balam Akab Ochomiha, Father of the West, where the night comes, when the silence and patience comes, where the insight comes. I call upon you, Balam Akab, to connect us with that profound silence, peace, and serenity of the night. And I ask that you be here now. I call upon the energy of the north, Ikbalam, in Kakishaha. I call upon you, Ikbalam, to bring us great winds of purification, the place of the ancestors, the voices, the spirits. I call upon you, Ikbalam, to bring us voice, to bring us clarity, and to be here with us now. I call upon the energy of the south, Mahukuta, Estonunya. I call upon you, Mahukuta, to bring us abundance, to bring us good fruits, good seeds, and a good earth, pure waters. And I ask for you, Mahukuta, to be with us now. And I am going to enter now the prayer, and I'm going to first be doing it in Spanish to honor my people, and then I'm going to translate it for you in English. Oh tú, Sacol Vitol, míranos y escúchanos. No nos dejes, no nos desampares. Oh tú que estás en el cielo y en la tierra, corazón del cielo, corazón de la tierra. Dadnos nuestra descendencia, nuestra sucesión, mientras camine el sol y haya claridad, y que amanezca y que llegue la aurora. Y dadnos buenos y muchos caminos, caminos planos, y que los pueblos tengan mucha paz, y que sean felices, y dadnos buena y útil existencia. Oh tú, Hurancán, Chipicaculja, Rashcaculja, Chipinananawak Bok, Rashnanawak, Hunapu, Tepeu Cucumatz, Alom Acajolom, Ishpiacoc, Ishmucané, abuela del sol, abuela de la luz, que amanezca y que llegue la aurora. And here's in English. Oh you Vitol Sakol, look at us and listen to us. Don't leave us, don't abandon us. Oh you that are in heaven and earth, heart of the heaven, heart of the earth, give us our descendants, bring our successions, while the sun is walking and there's clarity. And let us wake and see the aurora. And give us good paths, straight paths. And may the people have a lot of peace and be happy. And give us good and helpful existence. O you Hurankan, Chipicaculja, Rashcaculja, Chichipinanawak Bok, Ahun Hunapu, Tepeu Cucumatz, Alom Acajolong, Ishpiacoc, Ishmucane, grandmother of the light, grandmother of the sun, let us wake and see the aurora. Maltiosh Ahau. Maltiosh Ahau Nawal Hunkame. Thank you. And that closed our sacred prayer.
Beautiful. So beautiful.
It
For us English speakers, I feel like it's a special treat to hear a prayer, invocation, or whatever spiritual language in a different language, because it helps you connect to the essence of the prayer more than the words of the prayer.
And I have to say that this is really an honor. It is not a coincidence you mentioned that, because as I was looking at it yesterday translating, I said to myself, today will be the day that it will be fully, perfectly translated. So it's been translated perfectly this time for Hunkame and the ancestors and Ahau.
Mm-hmm. Well, I, speaking for myself, feel that hearing these transmissions, you feel them throughout your whole being, which would mean that that's a perfect translation.
Well, I'm glad. I felt it.
Oh, very lovely. So this came from the Popol Vuh as it is written and translated?
Yes. It is actually, it's been the Popol Vuh by Francisco Jimenez, for many of that you don't know. The true Popol Vuh is an oral tradition that was handed from generation to generation. It is said to be the story that was breakfast to us as we were little children.
Yeah.
The written copy of this book happens to be at the Newberry Library in Chicago that was done by Francisco Jimenez, a Spaniard friar that came to Guatemala in the 1800s, the 17th century actually, and translated. But there is a translation only in Spanish and Quiche.
Mm-hmm.
And the true oral book it is says to be hidden in the jungle somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if people want to learn more about this, Shuni has done a tremendous amount of work with the Popol Vuh in Guatemala and in our country. And if you go to the Mayan Cross website's glossary and look under Popol Vuh, you'll find a link to a video of the Popol Vuh that explains the text through the eyes of a number of different very well-known scholars and interpreters. And I think, wasn't that, Shuni, that video funded through the World Literature Program of Harvard, or is it Harvard?
Yeah, it was founded by it's called an Invitation to World Literature, and it was funded by them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so Jeff Grant has typed the link to that into the chat, so people can just link there, and it's a really nice version of it. You can also find other versions on YouTube, and some of them are pretty good. And guest 7 says, "Thank you so much, Shuni. My body shivered. It was so beautiful."
Oh,
so
it was an honor.
Well, how blessed are we to have someone that carries this energy of Kamei and who knows the traditions of the Guatemalan Maya so well as Shuni, to be with us today to talk about the Nawal Kamei. So, Shuni, can you tell us a little bit about your impressions of Kamei when you first learned that this was your day sign?
Yes, absolutely.
And how you've come to know and grow with this wisdom since that initial awakening.
Well, it was pretty much the biggest awakening that I've ever had. Probably it happened about 10 years ago, and I had a friend of mine who was cat, and we were in the ocean, in the Pacific Ocean in Guatemala, and I remember him getting Carlos's book out and saying, "Today I'm going to change your life," and he said to me, "And he's going to change you forever." And he read to me for the first time my Nawal. And when he read my Nawal, it was to me like a ring on a finger. Like no one has ever really described me with my goods and my bads so perfectly. That. And that was a moment that, we all went home, but I never forgot. I never forgot my sign, and that he spoke that that being Kamei, I come from the link, that the past life, that my link, from the ancestors, my lineage comes in the same family, and that there was a project that it was left for me to be finished. And it just took me by the surprise, and it really transformed me to the point that it transformed my whole life. I became a daykeeper. I was able to develop Casa Kamei, which is a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to the transformation of human spirit through art and spirituality. So, and being Kamei, learning about Kamei, make me really become. And I started dreaming. I mean, as a little girl, I've always had dreams. I know from my mother that I am an indigo child, that it was very hard for me to fit in schools, and I come with dreams, and I came to know things that a lot of people were saying that things were coming through. So learning about Kame changed my life completely. I never forgot, and I came to come back and embody everything I am.
Mhm.
Yes, it was to me the key, and I remember that when I came back to the United States, not having the book, but always meditating on my sign. And one day, my best friend, who is a Native American, said to me, here, learn a little bit more about him. And he spoke about how there was a version that spoke about Diego de Landa and this Franciscan that burned the greatest collection of Mayan codices, seizing the information for all indigenous people to learn it. But there was a quote there that it just transformed me. And it said that Diego de Landa says before dying, he said, it might be that these people have the key that the natives of today cannot say. And in that moment, I just knew that Kame was the key. And genetically, the person that brings the messages back to people. And that's how I became a daykeeper, knowing that it was my destiny to just be the intermediate between the living and the dead, between the other realms, other dimensions.
Mhm.
So that's one day somebody read my Nahual, and that changed me forever. And I always say to people when they learn to their Nahual, I said, there is going to change you forever, and it's really going to make you advance to having, to embodying it. Once you know it, you now have that responsibility that you know. But once you don't know it, you can go through life hitting all walls. But once you know you're Nahual, it is there for you to accomplish your mission. It was given for you to accomplish and embody it. So it's been great.
Mhm. Mhm. So were there times where you felt doubt about it?
Never.
Never.
Never. As a little kid, it was interesting because as a little kid, I used to sleep with my arms crossed in the Mayan cross position. Like I was a dead person. And my mom is like, why are you sleeping like that?
Like a corpse?
Like a corpse. And that was normal for me. And, being in the Western world, it's like, why are you sleeping like you're dead? And, they bring that fear into your heart. And I stopped sleeping like that. But I remember as a young kid, it was an automatically for me to cross my arms and put myself in a position of a corpse.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really genetically. I think Kame has such a strong link with the DNA of the ancestors, and it brings the information, and it brings it in a way that you can manifest it. That's why we are called the tukurs, the owls, the messengers, because we are to bring this information to the light.
So one of the totems of this day sign is the owl?
Is the owl. Mm-hmm. They're called tukur in Spanish. Mm-hmm. And there is something really, really fascinating about the owls, and that is that so Kame possesses the direct connection with the ancestors and the unseen forces and unseen dimensions and worlds. And what is amazing about the owls is that in the tale of the Popol Vuh, the owls are the servants of the lords of the underworld. But these owls are the messengers that take the messages from the underworld to the middle world to go call the hero twins to come down and play a ball game to the underworld. Mm-hmm. So what happens, they do repeatedly, they are the messengers that move the information to the underworld, to the middle world, constantly. But there is an episode where the owls, one of the daughters of the lords of the underworld, without permission, goes and visits the prohibited tree where the head of Hunkunapu is at. And this lady Shkik goes and touches the fruit, and the fruit spits in her hands, and she becomes pregnant with the two hero twins. And just like by grace of the saliva that spit in her hand of the head of Hunhunapu. And it is the owls that are the ones who are sent to kill her to the middle world, because she has committed some sort of adultery, because they don't know where the baby comes from. So what the beauty is that the owls take her up to the middle world, and she asks not to die, and the owls realize that, she's the princess that's carrying the hero twins. And it is in that moment that the owls become enlightened, go through this amazing transformation where they realize that they leave their lords of the underworld to rescue the princess and follow her. So they go through this amazing transformation of realization. And this is what Kame really embodies. That transformation, that knowing between good and right and wrong. And that's why they are the messengers. That's
Mm-hmm.
why they were granted that position. That's why they are granted that wisdom, because they are the carriers of that information, and they genetically feel it and have it within them.
Mm-hmm.
So
how do you relate to the other elements of your Mayan cross? So Shuni is a 12 Kame. Can you speak a bit to what the numeral 12, how that tonifies the energy of Kame?
Well, for me being a number 12, it's I always say the number for me being 12, it feels like it's a number that not only manifests but unites. I feel it's having a 12, the two bars that are 5 and 5 gives me my two hands to manifest, and those two dots in top of those two lines give me that way to polarize female energy. So I feel the 12 really it's a number that speaks about transparency and about cooperation, about manifesting dreams.
Mm-hmm. So not just talking about it, but actually doing it, working it. And how about Tihash as your conception energy? 4 Tihash is your conception energy. So how did that...
I think that...
Looking back, no.
I think that my conception sign is one of the strongest. I feel that it is through Tihash, through the mirror, through the glass, that Kame can find its path and can find its transformation that I speak, just like the owls. They saw that realization. Having a 4 Tihash is a really balanced mirror. It's a steady mirror for me to see, to see myself, to see the reflection of the things I need to be. And I think it is through Tihash that my own sign manifests and learns from the 7 sins of man. Kame, I feel that it's one of those signs that have to go through everything. I mean, I could say to you honestly with my heart that I have been through an amazing transformation myself. I feel like I'm a person that I come from the underworld. And I have been able to give that 365, 60-degree turn and transform, and that is part of that Tihash, showing us through those shames what's right and wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's Tihash, that balanced mirror. I always say that is being a 4 Tihash, it's a 4-corner perfect mirror for me.
Mm-hmm.
That I was able to capture, what I need to see and the information that I need to bring. I feel that it is not only just works as a mirror, but it works as a puzzle. So I'm constantly doing puzzles in my mind. I get, pieces of the story together, and this is my mission, and this is my destiny.
Mm-hmm. When I first met Shuni, I was offering a class on the Mayan cross, and she was in the class. And
well, I just couldn't believe it that you were doing the class.
And she saw what was in her destiny, and I thought she was going to fall out of her chair. She was just so relieved, I think, and happy.
Yeah, because I said
her destiny is Ish, Jaguar. So
yes.
Shuni, can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, let me explain, you guys. This is super important because this is something that a lot of people, I think, that mistakenly don't understand. And when I learned the Mayan calendar, after after my friend had just read my Nahual, I went and I studied Mayan calendar on my own. I had no teachers. I went and studied Mayan calendar, Quiché, then I went to study Yucatec calendar, and then I went to study Dream Spell calendar. So I truly, really, really went into that deep connection on my own self. So when I met Barbara, knowing that I was Kame, knowing that I was dead, that I was leaving room for the next life, I thought that I had to embody, because they say your mission, So immediately your mind puts you into your mission of the next life, into the future. For some reason, you don't think that this is your mission here. So thinking that, I was Kame, thinking that I was going to be going to 7-ish, make me really happy understanding that I was moving through this energy in this lifetime and not the next one. So yes, in being Ish, knowing that it is the most evolved sign in the Mayan calendar, the sign that, that connects you to the creative force, it was for me not only my happiness to know that from death I come again to be life. So I was very excited knowing that I was going to be, that my destiny was going to be 7-ish in this lifetime.
Yeah, there's always some kind of relief, because one of the themes that's come out with just about everyone who's on these calls that's been talking about their day sign is the challenges and the fact that they feel like they have to go through everything in order to find their fullest expression on this planet. And knowing that you have an energy for your destiny, that it really gives you this sense that you are evolving, even though you're Kame, and that is when people first meet you, that's what they feel about you. That's like the first thing that they're going to feel about you. Knowing that you've got direction, knowing that there is a trajectory, knowing that you are going to evolve into manifesting these other aspects, it's almost kind of like a relief.
It is, and I can totally feel myself shedding the energy of Kame.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel myself, but I have to tell you, I have to go through a strong Kame, and I am in really strong realizations of death within my own family, within my own self, and knowing that I feel, that little by little it just peels off as you walk, But in my mind, I thought, well, because of being Kame, I always leave room for the next life because, this is the line of family I was chosen to be. Mm-hmm. But I feel that with Ish, I feel that going to that, being that my mission, I feel in some sort of way relief that is the energy of the Mother Earth, that it is the energy of a creative force. So after you're dead, you're reborn. So it's beautiful. It's really, really amazing.
Now that you bring that up, can I ask a question about reincarnation?
Yeah. Sure, absolutely.
I've asked this question before to other elders, and I get different answers. So I'm really curious. According to this system, you were born 12 Kame.
Yeah.
When you come back the next time, Will you have an entirely different Mayan cross, different day sign? Will you come back as 13 Kame? Will you come back as 13?
That is a great question. That is a great question. That is a great question, because being Kame, I will be honest, I've had a difficult life, and I've always feel that I have such a strong link to my lineage. I feel ancient. I do. I feel, I know things that I don't know in that moment, and then they manifest later. I dream things. So this energy, I always think that, that I've been bound to this energy for a long time. And it's funny that you ask this, because I feel that this is what I feel. Like I say, I feel things that I cannot explain. They just come to me. I feel that I am the last on this lineage, that I'm free, and I will be, and my next sign will be an will be a sign of life. So I feel that I complete this lineage, and I find out what I needed to find out in this one, and I think that my next symbol will be For some sort of reason, my daughter is and I feel that this is what I will be next time. I feel that I'm not gonna be linked to this lineage, that I break with a chain for some sort of reason. And this has been a feeling for me, because I feel like I have very strong ties to the past that, that are hurtful. And I think that I have been able to recognize all that and heal that and break through from the lineage that I no longer want to be in.
So it's not like is the next one in line, Kech is the next one in line, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't work like that. It's not the reincarnative aspect of this calendar isn't the same as how the calendar goes around day by day.
I think that the souls choose where they're going to be. I think that also depending in your involvement and where you are at, and if you were able to accomplish the learnings that you did, did you choose the sign that you're going to be?
Did you?
I think so. This has been such a strong information leading me to the fact that I'm not going to be linked to this lineage anymore in my next life. That I come to finish what they started. And that is a great that's an amazing feeling that I have in knowing that I'm going to be which is I'm going to be life, the opposite. And that's the one I'm going to choose. But I think that we choose depending where we are in that evolution of souls.
Oh, that's great. This is really good information, Shuni. Can you talk a little about 5 Road as an area? It's on your left side on the horizontal axis.
Well, I love A, because I always say, thank God I have A, because not only do I have A in my left side, but it is also my year bearer. And it is also one of the energies of the 9 energies of my conception cross, which is also 11A. So this energy of A is really got me going between worlds, traveling and always not really realizing where my true home is. Now I know that my true home is in my heart, anywhere I'm at. But it's been very challenging for me. It's been very hard to, being in my left. It's hard because 5 is a number that commands and really is there to lead, And having it on my left side, it gives me challenges because I'm always between worlds. I wish I can be in Guatemala. I wish I can be here. And I always says, I'm not from here and I'm not from there. amazingly enough, I have lived half of my life here and half of my life in Guatemala.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, if I can stay, the challenge that this gives me is just to stay, like I say, make my home my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Not the place, but the heart. Wherever you are with your heart open, this is this is your home. And I've been trying to say that, and it's easier for me now because I surrender to my heart and that reality, and I live my life trying to be happy no matter where I am. But it's been a challenge.
I see a connection between this notion that you carry, make my heart my home, and your sense that you will become in your next lifetime.
Yeah.
Because to me always evokes this sense of the hearth that's in the home.
Yep.
This real strong sense that this is exactly where I belong.
Yep.
Right?
That is a great way to put it. Yeah.
I don't know. I just noticed that. What about 6 sun on your right side? 6 Ahpu.
Well, sometimes Ahpu, they're seen as gifts, but the gifts can transform into egos a little bit. And that is part of the Kame's day sign, because, as having Ahpu in our cross, I have, in my 9th cross, I have 13 Ahpu in my destiny, and 6 Ahpu in my right arm. So having those 2 Ahpus, yes, it brings a lot of challenges, and even though they're gifts because they make you bright and they make you attractive and they make you shine truly, and they make you be able to manifest yourself in the arts, in the singing, and in many fields. I do feel that with that comes the responsibility of not allowing yourself to have that ego.
Mm-hmm.
So because they're great gifts. I like to act, I like to write, I like to do things, I like to perform, and all these things really come from the Ahpu. Really, these are the gifts of the Ahpu.
The combination of Kame and Ahpu together.
Yeah, being able to manifest.
You have to be out there. You have to be in the limelight, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So with this, you always are, I always say I am always observing myself. And when even when you're Ahpu or you have Ahpu in your cross, it's important to observe yourself and to know that all this light that you shine, it shines without ego. It's super important, because, you can get caught up. You can really get caught up with this energy.
Mm-hmm.
And just looking at it, observing it, and realizing and acknowledging and embodying Ahpu with enlightenment, with respect, knowing that thank God I'm able to do all these things. Thank God I'm able to perform. Thank God, it just changes you. So I always say it's a great gift, but you always have to be on the lookout,
Oh, that's great. You've mentioned this 9-sign Mayan cross a few times. I have a description with some sample 9-sign Mayan crosses on the Mayan Cross website. It's an expanded version of the 5-sign Mayan cross that we have on the homepage of our website. Can you speak a little bit towards the 9-sign cross? Who uses it? When? How to work with it? Without getting into too much detail, because we've got some other questions asked too, but just want to make sure that the audience understands that there are different versions of the Mayan cross, and the 9-sign version is an expanded one of the 5-sign cross. So I know that's the one that you work with now mostly, right? The 9-sign.
I always say, you guys, the best thing is to take one step at a time. I've been working for a long time the calendar, but I started the best simple way with my Nawal, And then I opened my arms, and then I saw my conception, and then I saw my destiny, and then I opened my arms and saw my gifts and my challenges. And little by little, the more you understand, the more you grow to understand your complete Mayan cross. So I say, just like the energies are in your heart and your challenges and your gifts to balance in you, you have the same energies above in your conception. So I have the two energies that I have on my conception next to my Tihash are 11A and 10 Cat. And this is what my husband says, this is how it looks at it. It's like these are the two energies that brought upon my conception. So I look at them, and I look at the 9 energies, and I look at my 3 energies at the same thing from my destiny, which are 13 Ahpu and 1 Kani, that are pushing the 7 Ish that I am. So what I take is I take the 9 energies, and I look at them, and I analyze them, and I look at them like a whole, like saying, okay, well, I have double A, which for me, knows that this is a double path of traveling, and this is an influence of me learning with the walking with the elders. So I know that this is knowing your 9 cross sign and having those two gives me that realization that I have to walk more with the elders. I have to learn more in the physical manifestation of the path. Then I have those 2 Ahpu that I spoke about. I have one in my destiny, and then one in my right arm. So there, I know that I'm able to do a lot more things because of that double Ahpu. But at the same time, I'm looking at myself that I have double ego problems. So I have to be very, very observative of my own self. I also see that my destiny is brought upon the 1 Kanil and 13 Ahpu. Mm-hmm. So I said, I'm here to beautify. I'm here to plant seeds with that Kanil. And having the 10 Kat on my conception next to the 4 Tihash, I know that this Tihash is going to make me network, is going to make me connect with that. So I look at the whole thing. What mm-hmm. do I have doubles? Mm-hmm. Where do I have doubles? Or for example, I have 11A in my conception. I have 5A in my heart, in my left challenge, and then I have that as a year bearer. Mm-hmm. So what does that really tell me? That I'm really gonna go on the road. That I'm really gonna go learn these experiences, because out of those signs, I have that 3 times in mm-hmm. my sign. Mm-hmm. So this is how I view it. But it's like I say, this is a small description. Take it one step at a time, and just like Barbara says, sit on it and just observe it. Mm-hmm. And then little by little, this information will start making sense. But it is,
like it mm-hmm. works with you. I mean, you can work with it up to a point, but after a point, it's really working with you.
Yeah,
and
it works with you.
The Nawals will inform you according to what you need to know in that moment.
Yeah.
So that's really helpful, because even though there are additional signs for each one of the 3 levels, the top, the middle, and the bottom, all of those signs will still be for you either from the north or the south sign. Mm-hmm. Like,
right.
It's not going to show up in your 9-sign cross. The blues
right.
and the reds are not going to be there. It's going to be gold or yellow and white.
Right.
So that's, it's more expanding, but it really helps you understand more about the dynamics that are involved in working with the Nawals, all stemming from your conception date and your birth date. Right?
Right. Mhm. And like Tata says, it's like, the 2 energies in your conception that they help bring upon your conception. The 2 more energies that work in your destiny are here to help you bring your destiny. So I have Canil and I have Akpu. I know these ones are here to really manifest who I am, who I will become in 7-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I look at them, on a way that they give the impulse to the conception, the impulse to the mission.
Mm-hmm. Great. So you've got a lot of F. You've got a triple F, right? Or
yes, I'm triple A.
Is it triple? Okay,
I say
so
to myself every morning, I'm like, thank you. I can get up and do things.
Well, and you do a lot. I mean, you do a tremendous amount with and for the Maya. And you will be launching some additional sacred tour. Well, you'll be launching your 2013 sacred tours soon, right? I mean, aren't you going to Europe?
Yes.
You want to
yes.
share some info about that with us?
Absolutely. I think that one of the most important keys is sharing this Mayan wisdom with the world. I mean, I'm not saying that it's going to resonate with everybody, but I know in my heart that it is the key of transformation. It is the key of coming back to the natural time, coming back to what I say, to see yourself, to see nature. It's what is done for me. I am a living proof that, that through this calendar, you really can have that amazing transformation. So what we're doing is we're trying to bring back the real man, what I call the men and women of Maiz. These are the people that are aware, that are living under these energies, living every day the natural time of law. And what we're doing a sacred tour where we're visiting the sacred sites in Europe and activating the energetic fields of the places, of the sacred sites, the energy of the ancestors. We work with the spirit, and the spirit is everywhere. And it is just a matter of bringing the energy there, bringing the energy. With Tata, we didn't know how come we were going to so many interesting places like the concentration camps, Ground Zero in New York. Why forces of nature were bringing us to those sacred sites, and we noticed that this is where the energy was needed, that some forces of nature were just getting us. So we decided that we're going to be doing this and visiting sacred sites in Europe, invoking the energies, doing it in a very humble way, bringing the Mayan gatherings, the gatherings that are going to be held outside, intense, held in nature. And one way to show that the Mayan University is outside. So this is what we're actually doing. We're taking an international journey to Europe, and we're going to be visiting Poland for the Heart and Mind Festival. Then we're going to be in Czech Republic. Then we're going to be doing a vision quest in Poland, and then we're going to go to London and visit Stonehenge and hopefully be able to do something there. And then we're going to be doing something here in North America. We're going to be at the Shamanic Gathering. We're going to be hosting our own gathering in Wisconsin, Chicago, Minnesota. We're going to be visiting the Cahokia territory to end with the solstice ceremony. And then we're going to be in New York. The equinox, yes, sorry.
In the fall.
And then we're going to be visiting New York and Washington for these constellations programs that we have. So it's the wind has taken us, and it's giving us the opportunity to bring this Mayan wisdom to everybody. And I always say, don't believe me, try it, and so we're very honored that we've been, that we're going to be able to bring this sacred tour and hopefully enlighten the hearts of people with a sacred fire ceremony. We know now more than ever that performing a Mayan ceremony really changes you genetically. And this is what we want people. We want people to connect with the ancestral traditions, the ancestor healings, They are them through us that are healing us and bringing back this information.
Wow. So life is full. Life
it's full.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm going to open the lines now.
Sure.
Because we're running close to the end of the call. But open the lines to see if anybody may have a question. You can also type into the chat. Questions for Shuni. This is a great time to ask. Oftentimes it's the people that are the most shy that have the best questions. So let's take a moment and see. Let's kind of scan the audience here, scan around the globe to see if anybody has a comment or a question for Shuni. Okay. Then I'll ask.
All right.
I'll ask one. I'll ask someone that I know is on the call. Eagle from Israel. I'm wondering if the information that you've gathered and gleaned about the day sign Kamei, if you can share what you may have found about other people, other personalities, historically and contemporarily, that share this energy of Kamei. Would you like
sure.
to share them? Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good day.
First of all, good day, good afternoon. First of all, thanks a lot, Shuni. It's been amazing. I've been just listening, and
thank you.
I don't have too much to add, really, but I can. What I did find was that, very, very special people born on this sun sign that share this very special, that have this power, but very subtle power. So not really in your face, but can hit you in a very, very subtle way. One of them is Charlie Chaplin. He was born 5 Kamei. The other one is Bill Gates. Another will be Robin Williams. Again, from different walks of life. I didn't find anything to like a common denominator between them, but it's again, it's the sun sign. If you divide the entire 260-day cycle, if you start from one Imish, then today we will be exactly a quarter way through. Again, this is a time for the way I see it. If one Imish is like the beginning of autumn, if we divide it into 4 seasons of 65 days each, then one Kamei would be the beginning of winter. And it is said that in winter, when the light is low in the outside, the fire and the spiritual light grows in the inside. Again, I didn't find as much as I did in the previous sun sign which was more about leadership and very outspoken people. Here again, I did find one president, which is George Herbert Walker Bush, and he was born exactly one day after his son. That's really freakish. Yeah, he's 13 Chichan, and then his father Prescott Bush was born 2 Kamei. That's another one. But again, we're coming up on the hour, so I don't want to take too much of your time. So thanks again, and I'll catch you again next time.
Nice to meet you.
I think another Kamei is Don Alejandro Cerrillo Perez.
Really?
He's the lead character in the documentary film, The Shift of the Ages.
And what number is he?
I don't remember what number, but I'm pretty sure he's Kamei.
Nice.
Yeah, and the way he talks about learning this and learning what his his noals and how he was how that shaped his destiny. It's part of what that film is all about. We've got some other questions, though. Someone who I don't know the name, but he or she has typed in, "Hello, hola Shuni. Serendipity led me to tune in this morning. It is Ishbalam K, the moon. Great to hear you speak this morning." Do you know who that is, Shuni?
That is my sister in Guatemala.
Okay. She's identified here as guest 9. So, and then guest 8 writes in and says, "I understand home is where your heart is open. But are there particular places on earth that feel more home to you as well? If yes, how do you find them?" It's a beautiful question.
Well, there's sometimes there's feels like you've been there, especially embodying the energy of Kame. You tend to feel this. You tend to feel a lot of information of your past lives. So that's why I feel that I'm opening to feel what energies are, but really, truly, where your home is where your heart is. Because I love Guatemala, and I wish I could be there most of my time. And then I say to myself, I look at the beautiful green parks here, and a lot of wonderful things. So it's very hard to find the real right home, and you can fall and waste a lot of time looking for it. But I think that the most important thing is surrendering to your reality, understanding that it is truly not the place where you are, but the things that make you happy and the things that you're doing. And I've learned something very important that I want to share with everybody. I learned that things are not the way we want. Things are the way the Aha wants. I've always called this, what do we call this, the master plan. I plan, but it doesn't come true, so we follow the master plan of Aha, what it has for us. And when you surrender to that, inconveniences, accidents, problems, death, really just become part of the master plan, part of this great plan that was set for your reality. So I allow the energies to guide me. I allow the energies to take me, to bring me, to carry me. And I live my life like that. I live my life surrendering to this great master plan and accepting them. And the more I do it, the more I realize that things don't become, I become less of me, of my ego. I become more of my essence. I had to have my Ho-Chan gathering canceled. And I didn't get mad. I knew it was part of the spirit. I knew that there's a plan for this. So feeling and living with this master plan, it really opens up you a whole new way for you to live. You're more in peace. You're more relaxed. You're more accepting. You're more loving. And the places where you are really becomes your heart.
Right. The master plan.
The master plan. And the master plan, it's always the master plan. And when it is, you surrender and you say, you know what? I learned this is what Aha wants. And this is where Aha wants me to be. And I have to be the happiest I can be. And I have to be the best I can be for myself and for others. So thank God, for me, it's not a problem anymore. I can tell you after 17 years that it was a problem for me. I'm finally free. I'm finally free to allow to be wherever I am. But it took some lessons.
Yeah. Well, that's part of life's teachings. And what is the expression? Wherever you go, there you are.
And there is something really surrendering about this energy. There is a passage in the Popol Vuh that speaks about the ancestors, and they say that for the Mayans, spiritual dying is the beginning, but it is it's not the end, but the transformation. And this is how it is, when the grandfathers were finished with what they done, this is in the Popol Vuh, it says that happiness and harmony and serenity live in their hearts, knowing that everything was said and done, that everything was brought upon the kingdom of Kan, which is the Nawal prior to Kame. When they say they was brought upon the kingdom of Kan, meaning the feather serpent rule, and we were talking about the prophecies of Kukulkan and the end of human sacrifice. They saw that was good. And what the abuelo says is, let's rest. Let's go to Kame. But so that everything has been done for the life of our children and the children of our children, and let it exist forever. Mm-hmm. So there is this there is this serenity to this Nawal. There is this surrendering to this Nawal, and that is how you come to understand the master plan.
Yeah, nice, beautiful. Well, on that note, I think we should close. We're a little bit over the time. I'd like to do the count, if we could.
Yes.
For Kame. Shuni, if you'd like to lead that, we will respond to you.
Okay.
Can we use the Quiche language?
Sure.
I've typed it in the numbers 1 through 13 into the chat. And for those of you just listening that are not on the chat, just listen to the word that Shuni uses before she says Kame. And we'll do call and response.
Okay.
And Shuni, you can do the call. Shuni, by the way, is in Chicago when she's right now. So she's broadcasting out from the heartland of the United States. So let's take a minute, take a breath.
And let's call these sacred Nawales, let's call the sacred spirit of Ahau Nawal, Hun Kame.
Hun Kame.
Hun Kame.
Keeb Kame.
Keeb Kame.
Oshib Kame.
Oshib Kame.
Kahib Kame.
Kahib
Kame.
Ho'o Kame.
Ho'o Kame.
Wakib Kame.
Wakib Kame.
Buku Kame.
Buku Kame.
Wakshakib Kame.
Wakshakib Kame.
Beleheb Kame.
Beleheb Kame.
Lahuk Kame.
Lahuk Kame.
Kunlahu Kame.
Kulahu Kame.
Kablahun Kame.
Kablahu Kame.
En Oshlahun Kame.
Oslahu Kame.
Now just let me close with saying, receive this offering, O Yutohil, Abilix, Akahavix, in the sunrise of the sun, the sunset of the sun, Imosh of the sky, and Kanil of the sky. Maltiosh Ahau Nawal, Hun Kame. Thank you.
Oh, Maltiosh.
Maltiosh. It's been so wonderful.
Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful Trecena. The next 13 days are influenced by Kame.
By this transformation, feel it. Take advantage of it. Look at yourself in the mirror and bring that transformation with love into your hearts.
Thank you for joining us, Shuni. It's been a beautiful...
It's been a pleasure and an honor, my friend.
Those of you who would like to connect with Shuni, she has a Facebook page, Shuni, Shuni, Giron, Giron, is your name, right, on the Facebook page. And she'll be posting events and activities, and I will be doing the same on the Mayan Cross page.
Please join us in our sacred tour.
Yeah, join us. We'll be having a lot of transformation going on, a lot of connection. Guest number 7 says, beautiful call. Everybody else, a big, big hug, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Maltios.
Maltios. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.